We could tangentially profanity filters in games.
Those are interesting. Yeah, I think So a funny story about profanity filters is that for Meridian 59, they tried to get kind of clever and have a very advanced profanity filter. The idea was that so say you have the word penis and you don't want little Johnny seeing the word penis.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you use the paragraph symbol, which looks like a P, and do paragraph symbol ENIS, well, that's pretty much spelling penis.
Right.
So they decided they were going to look at things like that in a dollar sign, do substitutions, dollar signs for S's, that type of thing.
Right.
The problem is that they made it was all server side, and they made it so intensive
That bogged down the server.
Yeah, so basically, if you basically just filled your basically your bio with paragraph symbols,
oh no,
it would bog down and actually crash the server.
Oh my goodness, just from one person doing that.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. And
but keep in mind,
nobody ever exploited that.
No, certainly not. And keep in mind, like the servers that we used to run Meridian 59 on were 200 megahertz machines. So like this is like this is in the bad old days. Another fun thing about the profanity filters, they put Ultima Online in the profanity filter. Which I'm not. I assume it was a joke and not just a mean-spirited like "fuck you" thing, but
That actually, I was thinking about the profanity filters in Planet Side 2.
Yeah.
Which are really funny because they do word substitution.
Wow.
Like shit is like nanites and fuck is Higby.
Okay.
Who Higby was the former lead designer of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And he is forever immortalized as fuck.
Right.
Like you'll just like start reading. Like I didn't realize that the profanity filter did that, and there's no way to turn it off, as far as I'm aware. So like, I'm just like, what the Higby are you nanite piece of nanites doing? I'm just like reading the chat. I'm like, are they high? Am I high? Like, it didn't click in my brain what was happening, because I know what all these things are. I know what nanites are. I know who Higby is, and I thought maybe is it a joke? Like is someone just like telling a joke and using word substitute? I'm so confused. But then like everyone's doing it. I'm just like, this is a really fucking elaborate joke, and I'm not in on it.
In on this joke. How's this happening?
Yeah, I'm just like, what the hell's happening? And then it dawned on me. I'm like, oh, that's the profanity filter.
Right. Too funny.
That just shows how stupid I am sometimes.
Yeah, it's funny because like I'm a pretty big free speech advocate, and like I don't get offended very easily. It's like the first thing I do in every game is just like going in, disable the profanity filter.
Yeah, same. Because I don't get offended by swear words. I get offended by stupid, but
well, I mean it's the intent, my friend can come to me and say, "Hey, fuck you," and I'm like, I get it, but a random person runs up to me in the street and says, "Hey, fuck you," and it's like, okay,
okay, bye.
Right.
Fucking off.
Pardon me. I guess I'll be leaving now.
Wait, what's a Kugutsusumin? Being the name of the dude who uncovered the dev who was cheating by spawning critical resources. And that was a swear word? Huh. That's neat. Um, actually, Warframe actually has censored words or restricted words.
Mm.
In the chat, I forget what they are. I think they're like some like super like SJW, like SJW level offense words, like calling someone a you know, a dick. Oh, that's a censored word, or a jerk, or something like that. It's like bannable on first offense.
Ooh.
Yeah, yeah. I forget what the words were. I was actually reading an article about it on Massively OP, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, oh, that's like, okay. So as a developer, what's your stance on banning people just for using naughty words?
I mean, just because he's not a words, like, I wouldn't, like, you know, I think it's kind of I wouldn't want to do it. Like, you know, like, again, like, the real issue you want to look at is the meaning behind the words.
Right, right.
You know, if somebody's using, again, like, you know, hey, go fuck yourself. You know, between friends, it has a different meaning than someone who you've just been in an argument with. You know. And so, you know, I would want, you know, ideally I would want to look at the context of why, you know, the bad words were used.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, the reality is that generally sometimes you just don't have that luxury, especially if you have a big, you know, successful, popular game where you have, you know, especially free to. I mean, this like free to play games also have like a lot harder because suddenly, you know, you're not just talking about tens or even hundreds of thousands of people. You might be talking about millions of people that are signing up and playing and doing things in your service. And suddenly it becomes a much harder issue to basically kind of like police all those people and, like, you know, really, you know, dig to the bottom of it and find out if that, you know, if that offensive words are someone, you know, like two friends playing with each other, or if that's like, you know, someone, you know, like leading up to actual you know, actual threats of, you know, physical violence against people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I would want to, like I said, you know, ideally I wouldn't want to just ban people for using bad words. Even potentially offensive words, because, like, it's like, well, you know, now you know what type of person this is. Like, you know, if you know if they're, you know, if they're being racist, you know, like, they don't stop being racist just because they can't use the N word or whatever.
Right.
You know, you know, they are still a racist person.
Or they're Mario, who gets a little drunk on Twitter.
Oh my.
Wiggler
Yeah.
Wednesday. How hard is that to spell?
Mm.
It happened.
Depends.
Depends on how drunk you are.
I mean, if you're Nintendo's PR, I'm sure they're safe and sane and sober. But yeah, I mean, like, you know, and this is my philosophy in life. Like, you know, like, I don't care if people say, you know, call me nasty things. In fact, I welcome it, because if you're going to call me nasty things, then I know
you're a terrible human being.
Right, you know, you're not the type of person I really want to hang out. And, you know, like, obviously, like, you know, different people have different levels of sensitivity, and, you know, most people kind of agree that, you know, someone using the N-word is kind of a bad person, and, you know, in general, so do not encourage this, do not allow it.
Right. And,
but, yeah.
It's one other thing that, like, I've always thought about is, can GMs pull up your personal information on your account when you submit a ticket?
I mean, depends.
Because I was just thinking, like, when you have an incident involving a minor, will the GMs know that, like, if the account's made by, what's the required age? 13, I think. That's that's the lowest age that can make an account online.
Right. There's additional rules that are required if the user is under 13.
If an account with a made by a 13-year-old submits a ticket, does that ticket get flagged as a minor user?
It could. I mean, it kind of depends on how the system's set up. I mean, there's no universal system, that applies, in every case.
Right. I'm just wondering about like user privacy versus GM accessibility to account information.
Right. I mean, again, it kind of depends. I would assume that you're like they're not going to be able to read off your real name and address and billing information.
Right.
Again, like the GMs tend to kind of be not necessarily the best paid people, so you don't
not the
necessarily want
best
to trust
person
them.
to have that information.
Yeah. I mean, we'll say like the temptation might be strong if you had access to several people's billing information to make a little money on the side.
Right.
Best to take that temptation away. But I think that like if the account were kind of flagged as being created by a minor during the character creation process, it's entirely possible that you might see people kind of you might that they might provide that information, date of birth or whatnot on the account, so they so the DM can the GM can look kind of try to understand what they're dealing with.
Right.
One thing a lot of GM ticket systems will have is basically like prior incidences will be prior interactions will basically be recorded.
Right.
And so basically, like, if you have, if you've had a run-in with the GM before, they'll generally, have records of it and say, oh, this person was, reprimanded for, swearing in public chat or whatever. So if you're caught swearing in public chat again, they'll be like, hey, look, you were already warned, now you're gonna have to face punishment.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of the reason why I stopped interacting with customer service for Daybreak, because the last time I had to deal with them, I kind of told them all to go to hell.
So yeah, they almost certainly have a record of that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they were all like, I mean, they were fucking me out of my account.
Right.
because I was playing Star Wars Galaxies. I had come back to the game after a couple years of being away from it, and I was just like, yeah, I might just play for a couple months. We'll see how it goes. And I was really enjoying it. I was really getting into it. I'm like, okay, I'll subscribe for another month, and I got a prepaid cash card. Yeah, and all. What was it?
A game time card.
No. It was a specific SOE card, an all access card, station card. That's what it was called. It was all access station at the time. And I went to submit it, and it said that the card was invalid and had already been used. So my assumption is somebody used an RNG number generator to get the code and just got lucky and got my code in the time it took between activation and submission.
Right.
Which is why you always apply those cards as soon as you can.
Right.
Because there are people running RNG calculators trying to get those codes for free money.
Right.
And so I submit a ticket saying, hey, I got this error. I haven't used this card yet. Here's my receipt. Here's the card. Took pictures, submitted it all. They're like, okay, we got this. They applied it on their end. I logged into the game, and then I got errored in game saying that I was on a free trial.
Okay.
And I had limited chat access. I had limited everything access. I couldn't raid. I couldn't voice chat in game. I couldn't do anything.
Right. And you were upset about this, huh?
I was extremely... Well, at first I was reasonable. I'm like, okay, somebody hit the wrong button,
Right.
This is part of their solution that they made, and somebody inserted the wrong code.
Right.
Okay. So I contact customer service. I say, hi, hey, you guys just did this thing for me, but my account is currently flagged as a trial account, not a full subscription account. Can you correct this? And I gave them all the information I could about it. And they said, no, we didn't do that.
Mm.
You need to submit DirectX diagnostic file to us.
Okay.
This will help our cause.
What?
Generic response.
And I respond to them, no, I'm not going to do that because that's not what the issue is. You guys mess with my account to apply a subscription correction to me. You need to fix it on your end. They're like, no, you need to uninstall and reinstall the game.
Right.
And mind you, this is like 8-hour wait times in between tickets.
Right.
And I'm just like, no.
Right.
This is on your end. This is an account issue. And I'm contacting billing about this.
Right.
And they're telling me to uninstall and reinstall.
Right. Like, usually that's the benefit of having a specialized customer service like that, is that you,
Like, I'm contacting the right department that, in theory.
Right.
And they're giving me technical solutions, not billing solutions.
Right.
And so I get fed up. I'm on day 6 by the time they like tell me. I'm like, no, this isn't a technical issue. I'm contacting billing.
Right.
To correct
a
billing issue. Why are you giving me technical issues? And they said, everything looks correct on our end. This has to be a technical issue on your computer. I'm on day 6 at this point.
Right.
And I'm at wit's end. At this point, I just want to get my access to my account back so I can give my shit away and say goodbye to everyone. Because I'm done with the game at that point. I'm so fed up with this. I'm like, no, this isn't acceptable. I was already on the fence about this game because
Right.
I've done everything in it.
Right.
And so I'm not proud that I had to go to this route, but I just wanted access to my account.
Right.
So I had a friend that was in my hardcore raiding group in WoW, who was friends with, I don't know, I probably shouldn't say who it was, but friends with the lead community manager at the time. You know, the head customer service representative. So I talked to my friend. And I'm like, hey, I'm having this issue. I really hate having to do this, but I know you know the head CSR.
Right.
Is there any way I could, like, do you know what his, like, business email is? And she gives me his direct business email. And I contact him. I tell him everything. I show him screen caps of all the tickets I've had. And I'm just like, I'm so fed up with your customer service right now that I'm having to bother my friend to get your contact information to fix this. And I'm upset. I'm very clearly upset. My friend, like, he even commented to my friend saying that I was upset, obviously upset. But I'm directing it at customer service, not at him. Literally 5 minutes after I send that email, he contacts me and says, I fixed the issue. I log in and I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
Right.
I respond to him. I'm like, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I really can't stand your customer service. I'm quitting the game after this because this is ridiculous. I'm done with this shit. I'm done with your company. And you know, he's just, I'm sorry. He was the first like scripted conversation I had that entire time.
Right. I mean, this is the issue with customer. I mean, this is what I'm kind of going back to with like the whole Square Enix thing with them changing how they're going to deal with conflicts between players. Like, yeah, like, you know, like this is stuff that goes completely off script every time. This is not something that's, you know, they give people will be able to kind of like, oh, you know, no, it's totally understandable. Like, no, like this is going to be someone like, you know, where someone has to make a decision. You know, it has to make a decision about this, and it's just gonna be just terrible.
Actually, I wonder if I can pull up those tickets. They're probably still on the Daybreak site. Let me see here. I don't even know what the website is anymore. Daybreak Games. Let me pull up the customer service, see if I can get a transcript here. It was a long time ago, but if I can get it, it's probably on my account still. Cause it's so ridiculous.
Right.
I've signed in again. Okay. Company. My ticket. Oh, I don't have any tickets left. I don't have any closed tickets.
Yeah, they might. Yeah, have
when they changed over.
Yeah.
I wonder if SOE doesn't like SOE.com doesn't exist anymore, does it?
Probably not. If it does, they'd probably just forward to.
Okay, no. That's interesting. No, I can't get those tickets anymore, I don't think. Unless maybe I have the screenshots from the email I sent to the CSR, because I still use the same email account. Don't tell anyone that. Oh, wait. Which I actually followed him on Twitter, because he's a really cool guy.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, like, you know, once the developers want to do, you know, the right thing, it's just, you know, you have to look at these things like, you know, as a business, like I said before, you know, they have to look at how much they're paying the person, and like, you know, you were kind of dealing with, you know, the lowest level, but it's very odd that, like, yeah, you were trying to contact billing and you were getting, you know, run around by, you know, essentially a technical support.
Yeah, it was so weird. And like, eventually I got to the point where I just started contacting the different departments.
Right. To see, see if everything's topsy-turvy, yeah.
And they all kept giving me technical solutions.
Right.
It was so weird. And like after that point, I'm just like, I'm so done with Daybreak, because
right.
I mean, like, I know every company has horrible customer service, but when your customer is telling you exactly what's wrong.
Right. Well, I mean, to be fair, like, for every, you know, but for every person that's like you, there's also the other person that's like, no, I know that, you know, I don't have to do this thing. It's like, no, you know, seriously, like, you know, this, you know, you get the argumentative type customer that, you know, like, is trying to kind of, you know, basically, you know, thinks they know what's right when they actually don't. And, you know, if you're kind of a low-paid, you know, customer service employee, again, you know, it's sometimes hard to kind of tell between, you know, if the person knows what they're talking about or if not.
Right, and the hardest part I had was that I was trying to contact the same representative, and I could never get the same person again. I'm like, hi, so I put in the ticket, hi, I just had help from Steve.
Right.
On this matter, and I'd be like, can Steve help me again?
Right.
Hi, I'm Dave.
Right.
And I know, like, those aren't even like the people's actual names, and they're just genetically generated names.
Right.
But because they're always like single syllable names. I'm like, there's no way everyone in your customer service has a single syllable name.
Right.
There's just no way. And they're all like European names.
Right.
And I'm like, oh no, you're an Indian customer service firm. I just know it.
Right. Exactly, because they farmed it out and it's cheaper that way.
Like, have you ever called one of those scam networks just to fuck with them?
No.
Get a burner phone and do it. It is fun. There's Twitch streamers that do it like for a living.
Mm.
And what are we doing in Fortuna?
I was gonna go do a little fishing.
Oh, okay.
We can do a little zen fishing while we're blathering here.
I was gonna switch to Zephyr for that, but okay, whatever. Oh wait, we're just on Fortuna. I can change. Shut up. And like I was one of those people that would contact customer service for dumb things sometimes.
Right.
Because I was a kid, and sometimes I just do dumb things. Like, I'd accidentally sell my super high-end item, and I'd ask for an item restoration.
Right.
Because there's no buyback system. But I remember one time I thought I had a bugged quest. A piloting quest.
Mm-hmm.
To unlock my next level of space. Of space levels. And, okay, so the quests never tell you who you need to talk to directly, or if they do, they'll tell you to talk to the wrong person, because there's an intermittent NPC you have to talk to before you talk to that other person, and their quest dialogue won't pop up unless you have this one chat with this other NPC, but the quest won't tell you that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's dumb. And it'd be like, the quest would be telling me to talk to Captain Varus. Let's just throw his name out. But once you finish the mission, you have to land and turn in the items that you got from the mission from the quartermaster. And then you could talk to Varus. But the quest wouldn't tell you to turn into the quartermaster. It'd just say, go report to Varus.
Right.
When there's like one line of dialogue after you complete the mission that says, return to planet and turn in report to quartermaster. But the quest would never update to say that. So I thought I had a bugged quest, so I contacted the customer service and was like, hey, I have this bugged quest, it's not letting me turn it into Varus. And they're like, oh, you have to turn it into the quartermaster first.
Of course.
And I'm just like, really?
Set it to us only.
Oh yeah. Okay, fine.
Right. Yeah, and yeah, again, that's sometimes that is an actual potentially interesting issue, development issue. Is like, how do you make things clear enough that people don't have to talk to basically harass customer service about things.
Yeah, and when he pointed it out to me, I'm like, oh my god, I'm so sorry to have wasted your time. You know, like because when you go to close the ticket, you can put in a final reply.
Right.
And I'm just like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. I feel so stupid.
What's the weather like?
I think it's cold at the moment. Yeah, it's cold. I don't know what fish we need.
I need warm fish in the central lake. I bought one thing of bait, so.
Oh.
It looks like it's gonna be warm here in a bit.
Yeah, I don't even know what fish I need, so I'll just fish what you fish.
I'm trying to build the sentinel, the new sentinel.
Oh, yeah.
You need long winder fish for the something servos.
Right.